From Melbourne Beehives here. I'm delivering a beehive today, a bee package. So the package is about 4 frames of bees, honey and brood. Queen bee is Italian or Canolan. So this is the queen bee is around 4 weeks old, and today I'm going to install this package into a flow hive. So that's what I do as well. So I install packages in flow hive. First of all, I deliver it in the box, which is 8 frames, sometimes 10 frames box if it is if I have to deliver it and install it into a flow hive. Usually flow hive has 9 frames, and so I take 1 extra frame if I deliver 8 frames box, or I just get 10 frames box and deliver everything. If you don't have a flow hive, my package is self-sustainable, so you don't have to do anything else. You just position the box where we like to keep the bees, open the gate, and that's all. You then occasionally, maybe once a month, you just have a look what is the progression, is there any issues. The issues could be they're running short with food, but that's not the case in spring and summer. That's not going to be the case, and that's all. I also, with the box, I deliver a container which is designed specially against small hive beetle. That container does do a good job. Not everywhere around Melbourne I found a small hive beetle. Sometimes even in Bentley East I don't find any. Just a couple of weeks ago I opened a flow hive and couldn't find any, even on the bottom tray. So it's individual. Sometimes I find 1 or 2, but if you find 1 or 2, that's not an issue. So that container fixes your potential risk, and that's about it. You will see later on the installation of the bee package, which I deliver around, it is approximately 1 hour drive from Bentley East. It's towards Mornington Peninsula. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again shortly. Here we are. This is the second part of the video. So as I promised, I will deliver a 10 frames box. This is a brand new flow hive, and 8 frames. Am I right? Yes. Okay. Most of the flow hives have 9 frames, but this is one of the smaller.
Yeah, it's one of the smaller ones.
Yes. Okay. Now, because I have frames with wax foundation inside, you don't need these frames, so you can keep it for, you know, next year or whenever you want to use it. At the moment, you just don't need them. And even when you want to use them, you should put the wax foundation, because this way it might not work very well, and it might take a long time bees to start building the comb. In fact, what I figure out, what may happen if you don't put a wax foundation but just like this, they might actually swarm.
Okay.
Okay, because if you have like 4 or 5 with wax foundation, they become very busy on those 4 frames, and they feel very tight, and they don't expand on the other half. Even the other half are completely empty.
Okay.
All right. So at some point something can trigger, especially in the spring, triggers to turn the cell into a queen cell, and they might swarm. And that what happened with a friend of mine. He also has a flow hive. That one is with 9 frames, and I don't know why, but maybe it is difficult for those that sell these flow hives to organize wax foundation. I don't know, but definitely I suggest that you use wax foundation on every single frame. You will save time as well, because they have to build comb.
Yeah.
And it takes time, you know. It won't take just over a couple of days. Although theoretically, if you have so many bees, it might happen really quickly. So I'll just put this aside here for now. With the flow hive, just make sure that this metal sheet is placed properly, and I can say it is done properly, because if you place it upside down, they might go under.
Yeah,
and
that.
they will end up in the tray rather than above where the frames are. Now, this is actually a queen excluder, and you use it once you put the top box.
Oh, okay.
So at the moment you don't need it, because you won't be putting the top box. I mean, it's now end of February, so you won't be able to really have much honey this season.
You wouldn't put that until probably next spring.
That's
going
right.
into summer, would you?
That's right. And once you decide to put the top box, then you put this queen excluder, so the bees go up. Queen cannot go through and lay eggs, so that's the whole purpose. Otherwise, the device that is up won't be operating properly, and yeah, it's going to be very messy. So at the moment, we can just put this away. Okay, so everything is ready. Just open the box. And there you go. You won't see much at the moment. I'll just shake this. I don't have to. We can do it later. Now this is what I was talking about, the wax foundation. So this is really important that you have wax foundation.
And you just get that from a bee supplier?
That's right. These wax foundation it's quite dear actually. It's quite dear, but you really need it. And you see they're starting to build a comb slowly. Yeah. So I have about 4 or 5 empty frames, and the rest of it is full of bees, honey, and brood. Now, how to handle the bees? It's very important that when you deal with the bees, your coordination is very. You have slow movements. Like when you move the hand, never do sudden movements. Okay, very slowly, and you have no issues. No issues at all. If a bee is around your face, just stop exhaling for 20 seconds She'll just move around your face, investigate, and she will move on. So there is no reason. Once you start like moving your hand in front of your face, between your face and like if the between the bee and your face, you can expect that she might go after you. And just nature, you know, the defense mechanism. That's all, you know. So if you don't shake your hands, stop breathing, she will investigate for 20 seconds and she will go away. It's very simple. So that's probably the biggest lesson that you have to learn, and you won't have any issue. So let's have a, this is basically they're starting to build a comb. I will show you the queen when we get to her. Mm-hmm. She's probably in the middle. Usually she's in the middle of the hive where the brood is, and the brood is always in the middle. And as you go away from the center of the hive, you might find bee pollen and honey. Okay, now we are getting into a busier section of the hive, and now I have to be slow. No sudden movements, very slow, no issues. And that's it. Make sure you don't squash any, because they will go after your hand. We didn't use a smoker because I don't see that you really need to use a smoker. I mean, if this hive is much larger, okay, you might use a smoker just as a precaution to make them a bit calm and down, but they're not aggressive, so I don't see any reason to do that. Okay, so this is actually a brood frame with a lot of eggs and kept brood. I'm looking for a queen. I will just look on this side first. And she's not on this side. The queen is not marked. You know, I can mark them, but I don't have to. When you try to mark them, sometimes you might actually damage her. And I don't need that. I don't need. You will see. I will find her. No issues. So I don't think she's on this one either. I'm quite confident she's not here. On this one. Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right. Now, this container, can I ask you for a favor? Mm-hmm. So this container needs to be filled with olive oil, just 1/3 of the container with olive oil. So this is against the small hive beetle.
Okay.
So the bees can't kill this bug, but they can chase the bug, and the bug goes away, runs away, and falls into this trap and drowns. So that's the best that we can do for the bees. Sometimes in a very hot summer, the population, the eggs can turn into a big population of small hive larvae, and then unfortunately there is no, we cannot save that hive because the way how it progresses is just unstoppable. So, but with this, we can always monitor the you know the population of these beetles. You can put even two if you want. If you are enthusiastic, you can put another one as well. But one is enough for now. Okay. Okay, so we are looking for a queen bee. Okay, I believe we will find her on this one. If not, then definitely on the next frame. Again, this frame is real good. Perfect. I'll just I'm going through. I think she is not on this one here. That's okay. Alright, and I will now put that container. Thank you. Now be careful when you move the flow hive. If this is not leveled, the oil if it goes out, it may kill the bees. Actually, it will definitely kill the bees.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe if you want to, when you move this, just take away, keep it away while you actually move it around.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And you just set that on top?
Yeah, and that's it, done.
Well, that'll be easier to move them.
Alright. Okay, so we expect the... And during the winter, make sure that they have enough food. It doesn't have to be honey, it could be a sugar syrup. So,
And have you ever fed them just pollen?
pollen, you can actually buy
Yeah, I've
kind of
seen
a mix.
people selling the pollen mixes for them.
Yeah, that's great, but I think you would still need a little bit of extra sugar.
Okay.
Because yeah, it is a good to have that protein food, because it helps you know, healthy growth and all that, but the sugar gives a little bit of energy as well. I use both actually.
Okay.
A little bit of piece of that protein, you know, it's like a mesh mix of propolis, another propolis mix of pollen and some other ingredients. At my last I bought one last year, and it is in the fridge. So if you don't use it, you know, keep it in a low temperature.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Is she on this one? So she escaped me. Okay. Okay. Come here. think I got stung, but that's okay. Anyway, we will find it. I'll just put this one away. Alright. And this one, this frame is pretty much only honey and nectar. You will see. I'll show you. That's nectar.
Yep.
And a little bit of capped honey. So during the winter, if you don't have at least half of the frame of honey, you have to feed them. So you can get a plastic container and put a mix of water and sugar, 1 to 1, and yeah, just make that make it boil, make mix, pour into the container. It could be a feeder with similar shape of the frame, so you pull one frame of this or even two and just put a container.
Okay.
Just instead of, for example, this frame, you put it there. Even if you have a good weather and if you don't have low temperatures, that doesn't guarantee that you will have that they will pick enough food like pollen, and they might not be able to collect nectar, because in winter, you know, not many flowers are blossoming, and secondly, you might not have the bees that actually go out to collect the nectar. Unless you have bees that fly out and collect the nectar, plus you have flowers around, then everything is fine. But that's not always the case. So probably once a month, in the winter, you should be inspecting
Once a month?
the stores. Yeah. And if it is low, just, you know, make the sugar syrup and that petty, that's how you call that food. So and that's pretty much it, basically. So I thought you will have the larger ball hive, so that's why I brought 10 frames. Now, you can keep the box if you want. It will just make your life easier when you move the frames.
Is that the spare box to put them in to move them?
I mean, when you inspect the frames, you can put few away, so you have more space to work with. Otherwise, you don't need a box. So it's really up to you. If you want to keep the box, then you don't have to charge you for the box. Otherwise, you just keep this, and you just have some suitable way of handling this when you put away these frames. Alright, so that's it. It's pretty much done. just shake these bees. And you just like this sudden shake. Yeah, you shake it just abruptly and strong, with a strong movement, quick and that's about it. Around 3.5 years, they will decide when to replace her.
And do you need to do anything
Absolutely
for that process?
nothing.
They take care of that themselves?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you will see she will produce a lot of eggs. I have a, you know, it's not that I'm saying, oh, my bees are best bees, but I do have very good queens. The one that I started with a long time ago was actually from Queensland. I ordered through the post. You can order queen bee through the post, and they arrived in a couple of days. So it's quite an experience. You know, you don't only receive mail in your letterbox, but actually live pets. Yeah. So, okay, do you want me to put the cover, the top, and pretty much we are done with our task.
I'll do that one first.
That's it. Okay, now I think
That's the towards the front.
I can put this up. So maybe for yeah, okay, perfect.